Okay, I am going to put together the Arch-Revenant model, the first of the Sylvaneth miniatures actually. I really like this model, it looks really lovely. So let's get up and running here. Got myself a new pair of clippers at Games Workshop. It's not that these were a bad set of clippers, they're not really getting into the fine details. So let's start building this thing. Nice and simple. Glue model basically. We need to start off with 4 and 5, which is the main body and one of the legs. Yeah, a decent set of clippers doesn't half make your life easier, and it does things so much cleaner. Okay, number 5, the leg over here. Yeah, it's just then you're cleaning up less waste and things. Yeah, so I am very interested with these things. I've been reading up on the lore on them, and I think it's quite nice. Like Alariel, obviously an elven maiden queen, basically creates these things. What appears to be using a combination of, magic, but definitely feels like Eldari souls. So sorry, elf souls. I'm thinking 40k there. Right, let me just check here, just making sure I've got this in the right place. So I think that's a very interesting little bit of lore. It creates a very interesting looking force as well. I'm just trying to find out how this sits. It doesn't seem to have a very good sitting position, if I'm quite honest. Let me just see. I'm wondering actually. Just checking. Yeah, it seems to be a very strange position in this. It feels like... I thought it might have been like here as a secondary leg, but it feels actually like it might be somehow more... There we go. That's where I was having trouble. It's not a second leg. It goes there. It attaches to that first leg and creates an interesting, like a wood bone effect. Now, for those of you who know your Warhammer 40k, you'll know that Eldar souls, and it's never officially described in Warhammer fantasies, or as far as I know in Age of Sigmar, but I gather that their souls can basically be kept in gems. That's why even high elves and the elves that you see, the elves, I think it's pronounced, have those gems. Now, I think what happens is basically in 40k, the Eldari grow Wraithbone, this sort of very interesting technology. So this is kind of like, in a lot of ways, this is like a magical version of that, which are like 6 and 7. I mean, it's semi-technology, semi-magic in 40k, but, any advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Number 6. So, to some extent, these could potentially be, you could argue that the elf souls are being kind of popped into these, what looks like wood, but, could actually be a version of Wraithbone. And that's definitely what it seems to be. These seem to be very ghost-like, these things. So it feels like the link is there. And I know they'll never openly say it, but the universes are linked, particularly by the warp. You get the same dark gods, the same major gods. Now, of course, you don't know when 40k is set compared to the Age of Sigmar, compared to everything else. So because of that, you can't really tell if Age of Sigmar is in the past or the future, or an alternative dimension, or anything else really. So let's see if I can get this to line up right. So it feels like the cloak goes like that and then sits there. So it seems like the best point to glue is around here. So I definitely like so many ideas that get expressed. The links, even if they're just subtle rather than absolute, they definitely there. Okay, just giving that a chance to dry, so I paused a bit just to let it kind of form a proper bond. Alright, let's have a look how this kind of fits in here. Yeah, so this is going to kind of lock in here. There are sort of tiny little gaps in it. There's nothing really can be done about that. That's how it is, because it's to give the impression of like the bark growing, I suppose, in different ways. But it looks to me, let me check. Ooh, it's not sliding. So if you get the hip in there, it should be okay. Give that a chance to properly breathe as well. Okay, so while that's drying up, let's start preparing the next bit. So 10 and 11 and 8 and 9. So 10 and 11 are the head. An interesting head that. And again, right, I can see this right now. Okay, this is what I mean by soul stones. Let me find that head again. See right there? That looks like a soul stone. You find them everywhere, and it does exactly what it seems to do. It keeps the elven... It basically keeps it protected from Slaanesh. So they stop the soul basically dissipating into the warp where it's eaten by Slaanesh. Now Slaanesh, of course, is imprisoned in Age of Sigmar, but I imagine they still, don't want to risk putting all their souls out there if they can help it, just in case. Right, it seems to go in this way with the hair flowing downwards. Doesn't seem to slot in easily though. So I'm trying to get the positioning right, because so we got like that kind of little notch there, but there's no obvious click point, and it does feel like you want to leave a tiny bit of space there as you go. Right, I'm going to let that dry and get 8 and 9 out. So you got 3 kind of dimple nipple thing going on there. The spiky part, the kind of 2 thorns, I suppose they look a bit like. Now they look like they're supposed to head downwards. Okay, let's see how these sit on now. The head is going to put at an angle. I'm just checking. Looks like feels like the hair flows over the shoulder. So it's got a slight angle to its head looking that way. The hair going down and over one of the breasts. Does seem, if I can just, there seems to be like a little dimple in there, and there does appear to be something on the hair that clicks onto that as well, so try and make sure that they line up as well when you do it. There we go. So yeah, you can see there the hair kind of attaches. Right, and then this one, I'm going to obviously go on this side. So again, let's do a dry fit. It's so important on these kind of models to do dry fits because they're all kind of got so many different positions that you could put the model in. Sometimes it's hard to see where it sits, so this is a, forward bent knee approach, pretty much creating a right angle forward with the leg. Really got to make sure that this joint breathes as you're popping it in as well. There, that positioning. Okay. Next, we've got to hit a few little sub-assemblies to go. 1, 2, 3. Turn 3 over here. Number 1 over there, the corner. I think I'm going to have to do a special display base for these. I consider myself quite good at making trees, so I definitely feel like this is something that I want to play on and make some like a gorgeous scenic base for these when I've got them all together. Okay, right, let's get this sorted then. So 1 and 2 click together. See how. I know this branch pops up, which, do you know what? I'm going to check something with this. This is the other part, isn't it? This is 2. that's 3. 3 pops into here like this. So you can see, ooh, haven't tidied that one up. Now, I just think sometimes if you work out where the other bits connect, yeah, you see it's going to go like this. These are going to go together like this. So it's pretty obvious at this point that number 1 must attach here. There we go. So that's going to attach here like that. So it's kind of clicking over like that by the feel of it to that position. Then of course 3 is going to slide in like this to create that. There we go. Okay, and then 15 and 12, which are the shield. And the arm. Like the shield, it's very part is getting it smooth as well, because where they've put the mold line on is not exactly great. Okay. Now this could be a choice at this point. You may want to keep that off, that shield, to make easier painting. So it's something you might want to think about at this point, whether or not you want to keep that off. I'm going to put it on, but I kind of advise that you don't. Because it's going to make painting a bit difficult, to be honest. Now, that just easily slides in there. What I like about that is you can see there it's got like that arc in the middle, so it's pretty obvious that what's happening is its weapon is like slotted into there, so that it kind of creates a nice little defense and attack point at the same time. Okay, now this foot here, again, this is a choice now whether or not you want to keep these two parts separate. I think I'm quite happy to just put them together for now. It's not going to cause me too many problems. Okay, number 13. Go. Yeah, that's nice. Said I'm loving this model. I think it looks absolutely amazing. 14 here. Again, a bit more tree bark area. Oh, there's a sharp bit on this, watch out. It's obviously quite a brittle in places because I think different branches. Now, this little bit here, let's have a look. It seems to go kind of cup over the breast. No other way to put that, it literally cups over the breast. Yeah, that's exactly what it does. It's a completely wacky brassiere. Again, for painting purposes, it may be easier to leave that off, because if you're trying to get a paintbrush onto the flesh underneath, that's going to be a difficult one to do. Now the wings. So this hopefully is nice and simple. 16, 17 and 18. The Zephyr Spite. So it's actually an independent insect, which is quite interesting. It's not actually part of it as per se. It latches onto it. That's one of those things that I would love to see if there's, because I don't know quite what's part of the Sylvaneth yet. I'd love to see if there's like more like that, like a winged creature that they latch onto and fly off with or something. It'd be pretty cool. Let's glue this together and then we will be done. Try and get this on right as well. It will eventually settle in the right place if you just kind of twist it a few times. Make sure you get the wings the right way around, obviously. That's a nice little bug, actually. See, I could just have one of them on its own and I'll be happy. It's just like it, you know. Okay, so again, whether or not you want to leave this until the end is entirely up to you. For painting purposes, it might be easy. You can see there's a lot of stuff to move around. There we go, though. That is the Arch-Revenant. What a beautiful model. Absolutely love it. So, there we go. Please like and subscribe, because, you know, it's important to me. And I will see you in the next video.